Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to Real Estate with Ryan. Always an exciting edition coming here on the studios on a Saturday. Enjoy being with you on game day. It is game day. Playing this evening. Vols had a big game this evening. Kent State. I know a lot of you guys are already starting the tailgating, starting the pre-game festivities, but appreciate your time coming to Real Estate with Ryan. We're talking about the East Tennessee housing market, what's going on. Interest rates just come out. There's going to be an adjustment in the marketplace. How will that impact the East Tennessee housing market? We'll talk about that and so much more. Let's go into some congrats. We're going to start right off the show. Some congrats, some new listings. Get that out the way because we've got a lot to talk about on today. Again, hope everybody's having a great weekend, and thank you for tuning in. And if you're tuning in for the first time, you can always catch us on social media for a replay, Facebook. We're streaming live on X, Facebook as well. Of course, we've got Spotify, iTunes, Google, and of course, we're on some great radio stations here in the area. We got News Talk 98.7 at 1 o'clock, and then Talk Radio 92.3 FM. Catch Real Estate with Ryan, and appreciate all you guys listening out there. So we got some congrats, some new listings. Let's talk about what we've been doing in the real estate market. So we got new listings on 190 White Loop Road in Clinton. Great property that's coming on the market first of the week. Make sure you check that property out. Some congrats to Chill Highway Drive in Knoxville, going under contract in multiple offers in record time. Congrats to our friends out in Rockwood, 415 South Chamberlain Avenue. Had a lot of activity on that property, and we just got it under contract. So congrats to our great sellers and great listeners of the station. So appreciate you guys so much. Some land in Silverbell Drive in Sevierville. That's moving. Congrats to, let's see here, Ashley Court. Congrats to you guys. Going under contract condo there. Fell through, had a little hurdle. Got it done for you. Appreciate the patience and appreciate your efforts. And, of course, North Shore Drive in Knoxville under contract closed thanks to those great sellers. And land for sale in Loudon, great seller we just got closed. So we've been busy. A lot going on in the real estate market as always. What will the interest rates do with the market? Will this cut or adjustment in the market be enough to see an increase in sales contracts? Interest rates have fallen to a 19-month low. Currently, before the adjustment, the 30-year fixed rate was at a 6.15. And still haven't seen the movement. If you're some of our sellers or in the marketplace today, maybe your home's on the market and you're not seeing the activity and the traffic that we need. Some of that's coming to interest rates, affordability, not just interest rates. We've seen some movement because of the insurance cost across the country. Those are some things to think about, the insurance cost. And it's the worst affordability since 2006. Let's talk about insurance. I'm going to talk more about the story behind what's happening on home prices as a whole. But as we talked about affordability, I know it's not in East Tennessee, but it does affect East Tennessee. Let's talk about this because affordability comes in effect as a lot of our seniors that we're going to condos, we're going to properties where we're getting away from the 3 stories or 2 stories. Had a great client that we're working with in Maryville, and he's going to a 1 level. It's that time. It's that opportunity where we've got a couple floors, but Ryan, I just need everything on 1 level. So it's something here in this area you want to make sure that as you're purchasing a condo, you're aware of the cost of insurance and any kind of special assessments. Let's go into the Florida condo housing market. Obviously, there's some special assessments going on, and with the older buildings, updatings, and that may be something that we'll face in the Knoxville housing market, but not as much as some of the East Coast states. But these are things that affordability and special assessments I wanted to talk about specifically. If you didn't know what a special assessment, talking about the Florida housing market a little bit, what's going on there in the Miami market, some of the older condos are down 9% versus some of the new builds are up 100%, with new listings up 37%. So I have a lot of clients that are relocating to Florida. Keep that in mind if you're moving in Florida. Just got off the phone with one of my great sellers that is on the market right now, and they're house shopping in Florida. Another client we just pinned in, they're going to Florida. So watch some of that market and keep in mind with these special assessments and what's going on. The older buildings a lot of those in the housing market, how are we going to fix some of those? We're going to find some of those older condos be demolished. And that's going to affect the new builds with the new building codes. And so there's a lot of revisions to the building codes, what came up, how to address it. And this was back with Surfside back in 2021 with that condo that collapsed, if you guys remember that. And so now condos are facing these special assessments. And they're affecting a lot of the older condos in the housing market. And, of course, it couldn't come at a worse time with affordability, interest rates. The Florida market is totally different than the Knoxville market. You say, Ryan, why are you talking about the Florida market? Because we have so many things that are people that are transit and relocating, right? And also special assessment kind of bring in that affordability. So I won't spend a whole lot of time on it, but wanted to talk about that and what is happening to make up the kind of affordability factor. They're charging something called a special assessment. And if you're not aware of what a special assessment is, one of the greatest advantages to living in a condo is that your condo has an association or HOA. And we're condo owners, right? We own in Florida as well. And then so that HOA has its own insurance policy to cover the community. And it shares spaces and amenities. The policy has its limits, though. And when costs exceed the limits of the HOA master policy, it falls into the residence or the building. A special assessment usually comes in when there's re-roofing, repainting, repaving. Sometimes you get it to where you got to be very careful when you get into a condo association. We just had this in Knoxville, and believe it or not, where we got into a condo association where they say that they cover for the roofs, and then you go through and it's time for roofs for the condo, and they don't have the money for it. Or in our situation, we were actually going to put on a new roof. We eventually did, and it all got worked out. But the HOA, I guess they didn't have the money put aside for the roofs. And so these are things that are commonly that come up in not only just the Florida market, but here. And so what will happen is if the HOA either mismanaged funds or a situation that a large-scale maintenance that should have been financially planned for, that's when a special assessment does come in. And so that special assessment, we got hit with one. It was, $36,000. It was a special something out of the ordinary. But what we're facing in the Florida housing market is the special assessment to bring the older condos up to scale, to kind of meet the new building code. Buyers are in the market. It's a supply and demand issue. And what are we seeing? They're taking advantage and jumping on that. So these are things to kind of think about what a special assessment is. We won't spend a whole lot of time talking about that. But if you're in the market to think about buying, and here in the Knoxville market, very, very important that you're checking the HOA guidelines. Check the rules of the associations. Now, condos are very, very popular, especially our one levels. And so you want to make sure that those HOA guidelines that you review does have the appropriate reserves in association. So one of the things to think about, we weren't aware of this. This is a smaller complex, but sometimes the association won't even let you put on the roof because what happens, that triggers a kind of an event. We've got a condo that's attached. We got one new roof here. You got to match the exact kind of colors. Do make sure you reach out to your HOA because that is so important because you don't want to put on a new roof without their permission. There's guidelines and timelines, especially moving forward if you have your house or your condo on the market. So it could come into play. What's the real story behind the housing market and the story behind prices? We're going to talk about that. We'll spend a little time discussing this, and then we'll go into the break. But if you're wondering what's going on with the housing prices today, you're definitely not the only one. With so much information out there, it's hard to believe and figure what is the next move. As a buyer, you might be worried about paying more than you should. And if you're thinking about selling, you might be concerned about not getting the price that you're aiming for. So we have a chart here from Case-Shiller, and it talks about home appreciation is moderating year over year. We're comparing 2023 to 2024. In March, we're down to 0.03 versus in March of 2023, 0.04. Similar in April, we're 0.03 versus 0.5. and trending in May, 0.7. There's a bigger gap in 2023 to 0.03. So, in June following in 2024, you're seeing similar to May, which is our peak season, May and June. 2023 has a 0.7 versus 0.2. So you're seeing that appreciation is moderating. But rest assured, this doesn't mean home prices are falling, obviously, with the supply and demand. Listen, we got so much more coming up on the second half. Stay with us. Real Estate with Ryan's coming right back.
Your friend promised we wouldn't be homeless.
He promised. He's doing everything to fix it.
You need to call and have him fix it now.
Hey, man.
Found us a house.
No, not yet. Let me call you back. We're working on it.
Ryan Coleman with Hometown Realty.
He says he's doing the best he can do, honey.
Well, he's taken too long. I knew we should have gone with Ryan Coleman.
Choosing the right agent is never easy.
Call your hometown experts. We'll take care of all the details and make sure you don't get stuck in a motel.
I'm Ryan Coleman with Hometown Realty. The real estate market's changing every day. You need to know your home's value in today's market. Text your home address to 290-2290 for an instant, no obligation home evaluation. That's 865-290-2290. And remember, when you're ready to sell, we have a guaranteed sale program to get you in your next home stress-free. Trust your hometown experts. We've helped thousands of people just like you. All right, we're back at it. Second half, Real Estate with Ryan. It's always fun times here. Talking about a little real estate, talking about the vols, talking about the economy. So much going on. And the real estate market, obviously, with the Federal Reserve making a interest rate cut, how will that affect East Tennessee housing market? How will it affect you, affordability? Number one factor we've seen is affordability. Cost of everything across the board is skyrocketing. It's not achievable to keep going at this level. Obviously, we're in a presidential election, so many different things that we're facing. Where does it put you in East Tennessee? Where does it put everybody? I don't know. Those are hard decisions to make, but I know it's not the easiest. And I have sellers right now that we're working with, buyers, agents. The market is, challenging. It is challenging. We're selling things. We're extremely successful here, doing a lot of things. Our team works behind the scene, but we're working extra hard for these results. And I know it's not easy when we have a market like this. And I remember years back on several presidential elections, this is a tough time. There's a lot of emotion going on. And if you're selling, you may be nervous. You may have a job transfer. You need repairs to the property. You've got to get loans to do that. And you're feeling the pinch. And I understand it. Trust me. We've got about 75, 80 listings here, and I've got a lot of sellers and a lot of conversations. And kind of before we start to get back into the show, I would urge everybody that if you're thinking about buying or selling, today is the time to make sure you get with a great agent in your corner and a team that's got your back. And I'm not just saying us. There's a lot of great agents we work with on a daily basis, and I call them friends and partners. We'd always love to interview for the job, but obviously there's a lot of real estate sold and we can't sell it all. And so get with somebody that you trust, somebody that will be your partner in crime during this season, and get that consultation. Obviously, any way we can help you, and hopefully this shows shed some light on the market. In this market, when it's a little abnormal, you need to get with a great team that will help you understand the market. A great real estate agent is the pulse on the market that knows what's going on. It's your best move. I've been an agent for 25 years, broker, and when I bought out of state, I did the same thing. I got with a great agent that knew that local market that can help you on one of the biggest moves you're going to make. We have so many people relocating here, and we just had one was unfamiliar with the area and kind of jumped the gun on an offer. Wasn't exactly where he wanted to be. And you really, as the market changes on a lot of different things in the real estate market, you want to start, if you're purchasing, to have that consultation on the front end. I just think it's the number one thing that you can do, because if you don't do that, you may miss something. I'm going to jump into our vols real quick, and we'll get back into the show. We got a 60-second vol update, just trying to get all this in. All right. Hey, drum roll, please. You know what's going on tonight, Saturday. Big game down in Neyland. We play Kent State at 7:45 in Neyland Stadium. It should be a good one. Obviously, the Vols are favored by a lot, but it's going to be an opportunity to see us in home and hopefully have a lot of players that maybe don't play, second string, third string. I don't know what the score will be, but we're hoping for a great game in Neyland. Always a good time in East Tennessee. Previous week, we had some great stats. Let's see what we've got going on here. Nico, it's off the charts there, 211 yards, 2 touchdowns. Dylan Sampson, 20 carries, 132 yards, 2 TDs. Marquez White, 2 receptions, 67 yards. And hoping for a great game today. Great commercials coming out here. Make sure you check that out here in the weeks. And coming up forward, we're doing a great, I say great. I said it a couple times, great opportunity with Brew McCoy, standout wide receiver, captain. We've got a lot of stuff coming on. And make sure you follow our channels because we're giving away signed autograph by Brew, free tickets going to the game, and parking pass. All you got to do is like, share, and subscribe. Hometown Realty is going to send you to the game on the house and leave with some Brew swag material. So make sure you're checking on all that for the future home games. And that's what I've got for Vols Update. 60 seconds. Hometown Realty, proud sponsor of the Vols. Go Big Orange. All right, so much going on. Exciting opportunity. Just getting back to that, we finished up a commercial shoot down at UT and did a lot of opportunity working with Brew and his team. We just tell you, an amazing young man, and proud of that gentleman, and opportunity for my team to work with him, and just it was a fun spot. Always a lot of work behind the scenes to get there, but it was a really fun spot. I hope you guys enjoy it. We'll hit the airwaves here in the next couple days. Got commercials if you heard it on the radio, different things like that. And most important, you guys and fans, opportunity to get some autograph swag from Brew. We've got games, balls that we're giving out every game, so it's important to hit our social channels, like our page, share, follow what's going on. It comes quick. The week starts moving, so make sure you like and share and follow our page. When you see the posts come out, it's simple. You've got to pay nothing to do it. It's all courtesy of Hometown Realty. All right, so getting back on the show. All right, so we're talking about affordability. We know where we're at. We know the interest rates. Will that spark the market? I sure hope it will. And we were coming out of the break. We're talking about sellers, patience, understanding the market, things you can do. As we close the show towards the end, I'm going to talk about sellers, things we can do, mistakes not to make. Try to fit all that in here in the time frame. But let's carry on our show with home prices growth is slowing, but prices aren't falling. That goes into the affordability factor. And so, the supply is not enough. We know for years that we don't have enough inventory, and we've been behind since COVID. And throughout the country, home price appreciation is moderating. What that means is prices are still going up, but they're not rising as quickly as they were in recent years. The graph below kind of goes over what we talked about in the first segment. And rest assured, this doesn't mean that home prices are falling. In fact, in the bars actually showing this graph that you might hear talk of prices cooling. What that means, they're not climbing as fast as they were when they skyrocketed, a couple years ago. And what's next for home prices? It's all about supply and demand. We've talked about that for years. Nationally, the number of homes are going up, but there's still not enough to meet the demand of today's home buyers. And that keeps upward pressure on prices. I think, one of the most important factors in what we just had the feds talk about meeting here recently is affordability. While the market is looking today is first quarter of 2024. It's hard to believe 2024 is what we're saying, that we're facing 2025. But first quarter 2024 was an amazing, and sales skyrocketed because a lot of people were timing where we're thinking on the market. And in the middle of the year, I'd say April or May, things have been sluggish. Each year we're seeing a little bit, or each month we're seeing a slower decline. Now all eyes are on what? The Fed rate cut. So if affordability is a factor, and if you're a buyer in today's market, we're looking specifically, hey, if I'm going to get a 30-year mortgage or a 15-year mortgage, I want to get the best deal. I want to get the best pricing, and that comes down to inventory. And so buyers have been watching that. We talked last week on a show on some different scenarios of what we're seeing in today's market, that affordability is really key. I got an email last Tuesday, new builders are coming out with new prices, with price incentives. We got interest rate reductions that are already built into the price. So those things are coming in. How will this affect the rest of the year? I think this is an opportunity where the rates are, they're going to be that for the rest of the year. And it's a great opportunity that you don't have your property on the market, that typically during the fall is not there. I think it's a great opportunity where more buyers will enter into the marketplace that we haven't seen. Let's talk about sellers real quickly. We talked about the temperament in the marketplace, a little bit of nervous in the marketplace. Maybe you're not getting the activity. It's always going to come down to marketing. I really get that, because if we just don't have the right marketing, and in today's landscape of the real estate marketing, things have changed, right? Commissions are different, right? How the agents work, where we don't market those to the public of the, let's say, the public market of the agents. And so there's a different marketplace. One company may do something different. This company may do something there. And so it's always important now, as in buying or selling, that you take time and interview, a couple agents that makes the best decision. Number one, who you work well with, who you trust, that can help you deliver those decisions. But two, that's going to avoid you the right advice to make the right decisions as you move forward at the end of 2024. Sellers, here's some tips to talk about. Look at pricing to today's market. Let's look at the numbers today, and are today's prices realistic? The most important thing that you can do as a seller is to understand today's market, is what are buyers willing to pay. And the best way to do that is look at our pending sales. Look what buyers are paying. You don't know the end result, but you can look at days on market, and with the help of your agent, know exactly kind of where our pricing makes sense. Don't skip any repairs. We run into issues where sometimes we think those repairs that the buyers can pick those up. Have your home in tip-top shape. That is key. Help an agent with your marketing plan. Do a walkthrough plan or a list before you go to market. Be objective. Understand, be willing to talk about negotiation some. Those things are going to happen. Be realistic. And hopefully that means to a successful sale. I appreciate you guys listening to Real Estate Ryan every week. You always catch me every Saturday here, Real Estate with Ryan. Enjoy the game. Have an amazing weekend, and we'll see you next weekend. Have a good one.